يا عباد الله هبوا ونداء الحق لبوا فاعبدوه مخلصين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. You are most welcome to today's edition of your favorite program, Stories of Devotion. My guest today was actually born and bred at Latte in the eastern region of Ghana. He was actually born into a Christian family. At a point in his life, he actually converted into the fold of Islam Ahmadiyyat. And after a while, that was in 2011, and in 2017, he actually made that bold decision to become a missionary to serve the cause of Islam Ahmadiyyat. My guest is no other than Muallim Suleiman Koranteng. Muallim Sahib, you are most welcome to the program.
Exactly.
Right. Muallim Sahib is currently the serving missionary for the Asafo Circuit here in the Ashanti region of Ghana. Muallim Koranteng, yes, you were born into a Christian family.
Of course.
Now tell us about you. Tell us about your family.
Oh, okay. I am Suleiman Koranteng, as you've already said, and I'm from a Christian family. We are 9 in the family, and currently we are only 2 as Muslims in our family. So any other person who is a Muslim, I don't know the person. They are all Christians.
Okay.
My father was a Muslim. He became an Ahmadi with me, but Allah has taken his soul. May Allah be pleased with him.
Amen. Amen.
So
You were born at Latte? You
Yes,
schooled at Latte?
yeah, I schooled for about two years over there. That was
Okay.
in class 2, class 3, way back then. I came back to Adesu and I furthered my education
Okay.
over there.
So that's on the Asamankesi Road?
Yeah, between Asmankesi and Sao.
Yes. Okay. That is fine. So growing up as a child, you actually went to church services.
Of course.
So you were practicing Christian,
Yeah.
and you believed in the Christian tenets then.
I attended Anglican.
Anglican.
Yes, please.
That is fine. So before that, growing up, what did you want to become in future?
Growing up, I wanted to become a teacher, then it changed to a lawyer. So finally, I wanted to become a lawyer.
Okay. So at what stage in your life, did you decide to become a Muslim? And what were the circumstances that led to that decision?
Actually, I was born into a Christian family. However, I was not having, deep faith, firm faith in Christianity, because my father was a Muslim, and whenever, we meet to discuss things about religion, he used to talk about, Islam in the Bible. So my father used to preach Islam to us in the Bible, that all that Muslims do today
It's actually in
is
the
written in the
Bible.
Bible.
Okay.
So I was having faith in Islam more than Christianity, but because of some circumstances, I couldn't,
Yeah.
join Islam.
Sure. So at what stage did you eventually say, now I want to become a Muslim? And why?
Well, it's by the grace of Allah, because where I was by then, I had completed, junior high school, so I was with my father. Some Ahmadis came there to do preaching, and then through the preaching, I converted.
Okay. What was it about the message that actually convinced you so much to know that as a person who is used to going to church, what exactly did they say that pricked you that, listen, let me try to listen to some people, they may have something to say? What was it?
Okay. There is one man, Movi Yusuf bin Sali.
Yes.
He was the Eastern Regional missionary back then. So he was reading the Bible. So they preached from the Bible. And they were talking about Islam in the Bible. Whatever you used to do, Muslims do is in the Bible.
Yes.
So they talk about the whole lot of things. So like ablution, how Muslims do pray and all that. So I understood everything, and I came to the conclusion. I decided that from that very night, they should write my name. I want to become an Ahmadi Muslim.
Okay. So all what you knew in Christianity, this was enough to say, listen, I think this is the true religion, and I wanted to be there.
Indeed.
Right. When you made this decision to become a Muslim, an Ahmadi Muslim for that matter, what was the reaction of your father and probably your mother as well?
My father was very happy because that day we made bayat together. My mom was and is still a Christian, but he has always been, encouraging me to, because he realized that indeed Islam has changed my life totally. Although I was not a bad person, but it has really given a very good impact. So my mother has always been encouraging me and then pushing me and all that. She never, discouraged me that maybe leave or something. She never did that.
So okay, that is fine. Your mother didn't have any problem with you converting to become an Ahmadi Muslim, and actually your father was happy. He supported you because he
Yes.
himself actually took the bayat as well.
Indeed.
The message got to him as well.
Yes.
That is interesting. But then you at that time still had the intention of becoming a lawyer.
Yes.
So what changed? What convinced you? What inspired you? What really happened that made you change your mind from pursuing that lucrative profession to become a missionary?
I always say that it's always by the glory and the mercy of Allah. After becoming a Muslim, I had a challenge with the extended family. Even the nuclear family, my other brothers, just like we became something like enemies. I became an enemy to them.
When you converted?
Yes, then when I became an
I forgot
Ahmadi.
to ask that by your other siblings as well.
Yes, my father's
They didn't
side,
convert.
They didn't convert.
And they didn't even like the idea that you have converted.
No,
to the extent that they wasn't. I mean, they were not talking to you like that.
One interesting thing that happened was that my father's siblings, his brothers and sisters, they were all into Islam. That was way back, long time ago.
Okay, they were Muslims.
They were Muslims. Then they said they've seen Christ. So some of them became pastors and all that. So they said my father should leave Islam.
Okay, and he didn't.
So when I became a Muslim with my father, then the problem started again.
Yeah, so if that's your father. If you still want to be a Muslim and you don't want to be a Christian, now why are you also converting other people to join you there? So they were not happy with him at all.
Indeed.
Okay, so then now they were not happy with you. Now why did you decide to become a missionary? Let's go there first. Before I go to their reaction. You were a Muslim, they were not happy. Now you've gone ahead to become a missionary to go and invite other people to come and join you. That I'm sure that was going to be a problem. But tell me the circumstance that led to your decision to become a missionary first.
Just after conversion, I had a chance to study at Buedi.
That's the Tarbiyat Center,
yes.
The place where they teach people Quran, Salat and all that.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to study there. So over there, I learned a lot of things. So that's where I learned Quran and all that. So the knowledge I was supposed to get in Islam became firm, and then my faith too became very strong. And there are some missionaries. One missionary I lived with, Murabi Isaac Amfo.
Yes.
He became like a role model to me because he's very active in the Jamaat, how he does things and all that. So he motivated me actually. Through his lifestyle, his missionary lifestyle, I picked it and I decided to become a missionary. I decided to dedicate my life and also serve.
So you were inspired by his behavior, his character, the way he collected himself and all that.
Indeed.
Okay. But at that particular moment, when you made that decision, you informed your parents, I believe.
I did inform them.
What was their reaction?
They were like, oh, if only you are certain you want to go, then you have our support.
That is fine. So you had the support from your parents, and you were convinced as well to go.
Indeed.
But then, did you understand? It was his lifestyle that actually convinced you, and you were convinced to be a missionary.
Indeed.
But did you really understand what the missionary profession really was, what it really entailed? The fact that you were going to avoid the world completely, your only focus was going to be on the spiritual aspect of life. The fact that, if you wanted to become a rich person by being a lawyer, then as a missionary, the worldly gains is not what we are you people are interested in, right? So did you know all this? And were you ready to actually, surface them?
Yes, I became ready, through the studies in Jamia, Buedi.
Okay.
Over there, I understood the fact that once you dedicate your life, then you are just like a master and a subordinate. Whatever Islam tells you to do, that's what you do. So from there, I had this feeling and this, kind of spirit to become what do you call it, a missionary.
Now, you are a Ahmadi missionary now, and your mom is still a Christian. What is his view about Islam Ahmadiyyat?
My mother, I can say now, she is a Muslim in the heart, but physically she's not. Yes, because she understands certain things in Islam and all that, but because of the circumstances she finds herself in now, she cannot practically, practice Islam. But in her heart,
She's convinced. I'm sure you have convinced her enough.
She's convinced. She's convinced.
That is fine. You wanted to become a missionary. You knew the challenges that you were going to face, but you still thought you could face them. Now you are a missionary. You are in the real field. Are you proud, knowing what the profession entails now, and you've been practicing for a year and some few months? So, are you still proud of the decision that you took, leaving your long, wish profession, that is to become a lawyer, and then now being a missionary? Are you proud of the decision that you took?
Yes, I'm very proud. I'm very proud.
What have you gained from becoming a missionary?
I've gained a lot, and what I can say for now is that I have understood that man has to, create a relationship between himself and his creator, his master. And I understood that through, devotion, I'll be able to achieve that purpose. So, Alhamdulillah, I have not achieved the whole, connection, but I am on the ladder.
That's fine. I have now, when you see your other colleagues who are lawyers, who are doctors and all that, then you see yourself. You see them drive all the big cars around. You see them have money and all that. At a point, does it prick you a bit and say, listen, I could have been living like them if not the fact that I chose to become a missionary?
No. You see, our destiny is in the hands of the Lord. It's in the hands of Allah.
There is actually a Khadim watching you now. Mm-hmm. He loves to become a missionary, but he's scared of the fact that he can't be a rich man, a rich person, being a missionary. What advice will you give to such a person?
The advice I'll give is that it's Allah who makes a person rich or poor. So if you think that living, not becoming a missionary, but becoming what you want to become will make you rich, then you cannot depend on that, because everything is in the hands of Allah. He has the power to do whatever he wants. So it's possible that being a missionary, I could become rich one day, being in a posh car and all that. That's also possible. So if you see some of your colleagues, what do you call it, going higher and higher, that is, they are going higher in the world, but spiritually, maybe they are down. So become a missionary. Through that, I believe that Allah will guide you and protect you and achieve what you want to achieve spiritually and physically.
Therefore, will you agree with me when I say that if people go in the secular world to look for riches and honor and respect, you being a missionary, you get respect, honor, and
yes, you have
as well.
Inshallah, you have everything.
That's right. What has been your relationship with the Hajj Khalifatul Masih Al-Khamis?
Our relationship with him has been very strong. Writing letters to him, replying. Most of the time, he replies my letters, his own writings and all that. So it has been very strong.
That's fine. People tell me whenever I interview them that being a missionary, they feel they become close to Allah Almighty. What's your view on that?
Yes, I do understand, because I have experienced the same as some of them have been saying. Being a missionary, your life has been solely been devoted. So your life is for Islam. So whatever Islam tells you, that's what you do. And Islam will never tell you to do certain things which are not, right, or which are not good. What Islam tells you to do is good. So once you continue doing it, then gradually, your closeness with Allah will expand, and you have a very good relationship with Him.
Alhamdulillah. If anyone is watching now and is scared dedicating his or her life to the service of Islam, what advice will you give to such a person to tell him that indeed it is very necessary to dedicate your life to the service of Allah Almighty, probably because that was the purpose for which we were created?
Well, the advice I'll give to the person is that the person who is dedicating his or her child should also understand the purpose of dedicating the child, and inculcate or cultivate the same understanding in the child before dedicating the child. Maybe the child might be, working now, maybe a little boy or something. But if the child is a grown-up person, then the parent who is dedicating the child must let the person understand the purpose of devotion and what it entails.
Okay.
If he or she understands, then everything will be, very simple. It wouldn't be like the person is already in the dedication and he or she is thinking of something else.
Okay. So tell this Khadim watching us now why it is important for him to dedicate his life for the service of Islam.
Well, it's important because if you compare the world to, our God, that's our master,
Yes.
Allah, you realize that choosing Allah is far better than the world, because the Holy Quran has told us that what is with our fellow human beings, what was in the world, it is something which is short and is something very small.
Yeah.
But what is with Allah is everlasting.
Yeah.
So choosing the path of Allah will give you everlasting life in this world and the hereafter. So if you want to dedicate your life, then it has to come from your heart, and you have to love what you are going to do. You cannot just become a dedicator or maybe a devotee without you not loving what you want to do. You have to love it. You have to love, because there are a lot of challenges. Do this, don't do. Sometimes they will tell you to do things which are against your will. But because of you understanding the purpose of devotion, you just do it. Because Islam tells us to do what you are commanded to do.
Yes, that is fine. Let me take you back once again. Where you talked about the fact that when becoming a missionary, you feel that you've actually been closer to Allah Almighty. Give me an instance in your life where you feel like you've been closer to Allah Almighty, and so therefore, if there was an issue and Allah Almighty came to your help, evidence of the fact that you feel you are closer to Allah Almighty, so that the viewers can also know that indeed becoming a missionary gets you closer to Allah Almighty, and then He grants you the acceptance of prayers as well.
Okay. First of all, narrate an incident that happened 3 years ago, after the death of my father. My father, his relatives, they are all, Christians. So after his death, they wanted to make some Christian way of,
just organize funeral actually.
Indeed. So just after the death, I prayed to Allah that may He grant me the strength, cultivate the spirit of, steadfastness and in my heart, so that I can withstand the troubles and then what his family wanted to do. So indeed, Allah made me very strong. He hardened my heart, and I was able to face them. Whatever they say, I insisted that my father was a Muslim, and what he wanted, that's what you're supposed to do for him. So after his death, he died on Friday. They sent him to the mortuary.
Okay.
They did some kind of autopsy and all that, but he didn't want that.
He didn't want that, but at least they did it. The postmortem and all that.
They did it. So in the Friday morning, my uncles, they said, no, my father should be there, and we have to plan for a proper, befitting burial for my father. So what kind of befitting burial are you talking about? The person is a Muslim, and once he has died a Muslim, then what he demands, that's what you're supposed to do. So I insisted. He became some kind of dispute and all that. But Allah strengthened me, and then they understood finally.
Alhamdulillah.
And then they brought my father out. We did everything, and then they buried him on the same day. And way back in Jamia, in my first year, things became very difficult. Learning became very difficult because it was challenging. My colleagues, some of them were moving forward. As for me, when the master comes to the class, I'll be shivering and all that. And I couldn't read Arabic very well. So I wrote a letter to Zuzu again. But once or twice, he replied in his own hands, telling me that I should read Durud Sharif all the time, do istighfar. So I did that. And alhamdulillah, my Arabic writing, Urdu writing, and then speaking in Quran recitation and all that. I'm not perfect, but it became better
Yeah.
than before.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. That's very interesting. Unfortunately, we are caught up with time. I know you have a lot of things to share, but we are caught up with time. What would be your advice for the general public? I mean, the viewers watching us now.
My advice to them this day is that once, if an Ahmadi Muslim, precisely, what you're supposed to do is just learn about Islam and understand Islam better. And also try to do things Islam tells you to do. Try to reform yourself. Now, you don't watch what people do, but you look at what Allah tells you to do and you do it. So whatever that you think that is evil, you need to shun and do what is right and build a spirituality. And at the end, it's Allah who goes into the world as well.
Alhamdulillah, thank you so very much for coming.
You're welcome.
I'm very grateful for your time and then coming in, accepting to come in to share your story. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Right, our viewers, that brings us to the end of our program today. As we also say, Stories of Devotion. I have been your host, Mualim Abdul Kader bin Ahmed, and then my guest has been Mualim Suleiman Koranteng, who is currently the serving missionary for the Asafo Circuit here in the Ashanti region of Ghana. I think he has said it all. For me, the most important thing is that the world is actually engulfed in lot of darkness, lot of evil doings. I think morality is very much on the low. The rate of the decrease in morality is very fast, and so therefore that's the more reason why we need a lot of people to dedicate themselves to the service of Islam, dedicate themselves to the service of serving mankind, so that we are all together, we are all able to bring mankind back to the true teachings of Allah Almighty, bring mankind to the light that we have lost all this while. And that means that we will be the only hope for the world, to ensure that we save the world from its impending destruction. This is in all what Mualim has told us, and I am very much grateful for him for coming to share his story. I have been inspired, and I want to believe that you have been inspired as well. And until we meet again next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.